Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the lost my train of thought. Gosh, it's been too long. Okay, start over. Okay. Hi everyone, I'm April, and you're watching the Tangled Cat Speaks. It has been since sometime in May since I last podcast, and it is now early November. What is it? The November 12th, 2020. So yeah, it's been a long time. I had some things happen that just made me not in the mood to want a podcast. A lot of it is family stuff, so I'm not really going to go into a whole lot of that. But one of the big things that happened and really hurt was my cat Aggie. If you've been to my channel before, you may have seen her sneaking into the background of my videos and yowling and just making a nuisance of herself. She was 17, and I say was because she passed away mid-May, I believe. And I was just sad. I was really, really, really sad. And you don't always realize how attached you get to your pets. And she was my best friend. And even now, I still say her name. I didn't think I was going to be able to get another pet, especially a cat, for a while. But it got really quiet in my house. I'm usually okay being by myself and on all of that. I'm very much an introvert. So I'm very much an introvert. So at first it was all right, but then I realized I was missing Aggie. And COVID was going on, it had started in March and this was May, and I was working from home and I missed her. And my son ended up taking me to a pet store and he bought me 2 birds, and this was all on Instagram. I got 2 parakeets. They're not parakeets, they're canaries. I got a red canary and a yellow canary, and I thought they were both males. They're not. The red one, she is a female, and I realized there was something weird going on. There's shredding paper, and I thought they were fighting. I think he was trying to make babies. So you may hear them from time to time because the male, I named him Newt, and I had named her Ripley. Because I love that movie, Aliens. I love all the alien movies, but the second one, Aliens, is my favorite. Anyway, so I got canaries, and the male is loud. Right now it sounds kind of cute and sweet, but boy, he gets loud. So I got them, and then a little while later, I ended up going to the Humane Society in Albuquerque and getting 2 cats. One is 12 years old. Her name is Freya. And the other is 6 years old, and his name is Emrys. And I named them Emrys and Freya because I think I don't know if I've mentioned on here before, but one of my favorite guilty kind of pleasure binge watches is Merlin. That stars Colin Morgan. I love that show. And Merlin's other name is Emrys. And he happens to fall for a girl in one of the episodes. Her name was Freya. So, Emrys and Freya. Unfortunately, these 2 cats can't stand each other. They tolerate each other, but they don't like each other. So anyway, so that was, I kind of got distracted there with talking about taking up the silence after Aggie was gone. But yeah, so now it's definitely not silent in the house. They are very loud, very loud. mostly Freya, because she's older, she's 12, and she just does not want anything to do with Emrys, and he wants to play every now and then, and she gets so mad, and she can get a little bit loud and everything. But so now I have a house full of pets, and my daughter has moved in, so definitely not a quiet house, but we're making it through. Just so many things happened, and it just took a long time for me to want to podcast. I needed to focus on less things, and podcasting was one of the things that I had to put by the wayside. And when I really wanted to get back into it, it felt like it had been so long, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't even know what to talk about anymore. Because I haven't stopped knitting. As a matter of fact, I think I've been knitting the most during this time than ever. So I have a lot of projects that I did. And I was looking for my book. I've been keeping a list of everything that I've made, when I started it, when I ended it, and all of that. There's a lot. So I didn't know how to get into podcasting again and what to talk about, because there's just so much. So that being said, I'm back. I don't know how regular this is going to be, but I hope to be at least once a month. I would like it to be every 2 weeks, but I'm not giving myself any rules. Just going to see how it goes. I'm glad to be back. I do thank you for being here with me. I know that some of you have been with me from the beginning. And I know that I have a few newer podcasters. I'm the podcaster, you're the viewer. I have a few newer viewers. So thank you all for joining me. So let's go ahead and get into why we're here. Since it has been a while, I think I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce myself just a little bit. As I said, my name is April, and I am here in Rio Rancho, New Mexico, which is just outside of Albuquerque. And it is cold now here in November. We had snow in October, and then it got hot, and now it's cold. It's starting to get colder again. So all the knits all the time, trying to stay warm. I've been knitting since 2018 is when I started knitting, I believe. I am messing this up like crazy. 2018 is when I started podcasting. I've been knitting since about 2005, crocheting since 1995. Yeah, I'm a retired 911 operator, and then I went to work. I mentioned that I had been working from home. I'm no longer doing that. I was working at a call center from home, and after about 10 months, I just decided I didn't want to be on the phones anymore. I'd been doing it most of my life, and I just was not, I didn't want another job where I was doing more phone stuff. I'm sorry, I'm like scatterbrained and everything. I'm not used to this. I'm sorry. Okay, all right. Knitting. So I have been knitting a whole lot since during this time that I haven't been podcasting. That my mojo didn't really go away. But I'm not going to pull out everything because it's a lot. But what I am pulling out are some finished objects that I did as test knits. I just started getting into so many test knits. I would see call outs for them, and I'm like, yeah, I'll do that. So that's what I did. So I'm going to get into that. Excuse me. So this first one is by, her name is McKaylee, and she is the artist behind Breaking Yarn. She is based here in Albuquerque, and she has it's a yarn shop, Breaking Yarn. She bases her colorways on the TV show Breaking Bad that was filmed in Albuquerque. So it's a pretty cool little premise that she's got going on, a little theme. and beautiful colors, and she's just adorable. And she has come out, or she's coming out, I think it's within the next couple of days. I'm not sure the exact date, but she's coming out with her first pattern that I tested, and it's a shawl called Lines and Vines. And I chose 2 of her colorways from her DK line, and this is it. It's an it starts at one end. It's an asymmetrical triangle. Starts at one end, and actually I lied. It didn't start at one end. It started at the bottom. That's what was clever about this. It started on this end with the brioche, which is beautiful. I'm sorry about my lighting. It's a little pale. But, and then you do the decreasing. So once you've done the hard part, and yes, for me, brioche is so hard. I have to like fully concentrate. Then you get past that, and then you just got decreasing, garter stitch, 2-color garter stitch. And excuse me. Oh, my nose is itching. Woo. Okay. And the colorways, this is her DK yarn. And this is, actually I'm lying. The gray with the speckles is her DK. And that was a one of a kind. She's got a page on her website that is called Experiments. It's really cute. And those are, kind of one of a kinds, just, basically experiment colorways that she's trying out. And she puts them up for sale. And that's where I got that. It's gray with a lot of random splotches of color. And that's kind of how it knit up. And I used, I didn't have another DK solid. So I ended up using one of her fingering weights in this green. And I held them double. And this green colorway is called Walter White, which is the main character in Breaking Bad. And I wasn't even thinking about it at the time, but as soon as I started seeing the pattern come out, I said, that looks like Christmas. That looks like little Christmas trees. So this is, it definitely looks like a Christmas tree with Christmas lights. But that's just how my colorways turned out. Sorry, my nose won't stop itching. Oh. And it just turned out so pretty, and it's a nice generous size for a shawl. I tend to wear my shawls, I think I've mentioned this before, I tend to wear them like this. But it works out the other way too. Really, really snuggly to put up under a coat. So pretty. You see all the brioche and the striping. Very nice. And what I love about this is the backside is pretty too. That's the backside of the brioche. So pretty. And even the more subdued striping, the way the garter looks on the backside with the 2 colors is, let me see. See, there's the front, but it's a little bit more watercolory on the backside. So I love the front. I love the back. Fun shawl. And again, it's Lines and Vines. And she should be releasing that really soon. And then, let's see, another one that I did was, it's an infinity scarf, or some people might call it a cowl. But she calls it the Polarity Infinity Scarf. And this was by, I have notes, so I'm looking down, and I have fuzz. This was by Kelsey Shannon, and this is also done in DK. So really fun. And if you see ends, it's because I didn't tuck them in. So this is a 3-color project, and you see there's this purple that's in the dots here, and then this is mosaic, and then you see the purple as the background in this. It's the same purple. And then this here was a variegated color, the background with the blues and the browns. That was a variegated color, and then a solid brown here. Now the colors themselves were 3 different yarn dyers. The brown, the solid brown, is from 3 Irish girls, and I've had that for, it feels like 8,000 years. It's so long. Three Irish girls, I believe it was their Springvale DK. And the colorway is called Driftwood. So it's this real pretty, very neutrally brown. It's not really a warm brown or a cool brown. Very, very neutral. The purple, really light purple, was just called Logwood. This was from Pandy's Jewels, and I have tons of her yarn, but this was a natural dyed yarn, and I believe she dyed it with Logwood. So that's the color. I love Pandy's Jewels colors, and this is one of the few semi-solids of hers that I have. I have mostly all of the wild, crazy colors, but most of my stash is Pandy's Jewels. And then this here, the background color here, that's the variegated, was Sock Obsession Yarns. Is that what it was called? Yes, Sock Obsession Yarns. It was a DK weight, and the colorway was Lamborghini. Lamb, like the little baby sheep, Lamborghini. That was a really cute name. And you know me, I'm drawn to colorway names that are silly. So this is how it turned out. And I really, really love it. And it's so cozy when you wear it doubled up. Oh, it's all up in the neck. Look at that. And then you got you can see both patterns, and oh, so warm, so snuggly. Oh, right up in there, no air getting in there. And I love it. So again, that was the Polarity Infinity Scarf by Kelsey Shannon. Let's see, the next test knit that I did was, I'm hiding my ends because I got ends. This one was called Pollen Count by Jennifer Tipton. And I believe this one's already been released. Polarity has also been released already. This was Pollen Count by Jennifer Tipton, and it's a cowl, a really long color block cowl. Oh, and I love this, and it's fingering weight, so it's very soft, and you know, when you wear it, it scrunches up, and it's super pretty. I used a bunch of leftovers and minis that I had just random, and I just try to pull together colors that went well together. Now you could see where I changed color right there because I haven't tucked in my ends and haven't made it look pretty. But the two ends are, oh gosh, I believe that's Pandy's Jewels. This silver gray is a Pandy's Jewels. Look at that texture right there. And then here's this blue here. This is like a lace patterning, and that's also Pandy's Jewels. This real pretty rose, and you really can't, it's hard to see. There is some texture on there. It's pearls. It's kind of hard to see in this colorway because the colorway is kind of speckly itself. But this was, I believe it was Autumn and Indigo. I can't remember. I don't remember the exact names of all these colors, and they were just all kind of bits and bobs. And then this here, here's another different texture. Each one is a completely different texture, but they all kind of go like offset texture here, speckly. It's kind of like a star stitch. But they're kind of offset. And that's kind of how the pearls ended up on this part here. They're kind of offset pearls, but it's really hard to see in this color. And then you've got the diagonal lace and then the diagonal pearls. So it's super pretty. It's a really fun pattern. It went by quick, and I just wanted to keep going, keep going, keep going. I believe it was 20 grams per color. And so it's 10 for the ribbing and then the other 10 for the other end. And it is so comfortable, and it's the kind of cowl that I love because it's right up on the neck, not too dangly, and you can just kind of fluff it out, just, you know, highlight which colors you want to show, and it is so cozy. So that is the Pollen Count Ah, I have a couple more. I was telling you, I went on a test knit rampage. Let's see. So this one, I didn't put in. I really need to take an entire week and just get all my projects that I've finished and tuck in ends because they're everywhere. But this one is called Plain Dress Up. This is another shawl and it's a crescent. It's Plain Dress Up by Penny Baker. And it's just real pretty alternating stockinette and mesh. And the yarn that I used was one that, again, I had in my stash for 8,000 years. It was from Play It Life Fibers off of Etsy is where I found them. And it was, she does a lot of gradient and ombre type yarns. I don't know if it's she, but ombre yarns, gradients. And this one went from the pale pink to this red color. And she does them in one skein, or she also does them in 2 half skeins so that you can make a pair of identical socks. And that's what this was. This was the identical half skeins. But I hadn't ever made the socks, and I decided that I didn't want pink to red gradient socks. So what I did was throw it together in this shawl. So you can see I started with the red and then ended in the pink, and then I started with the pink on the other skein and ended in the red. If that makes any sense, but that's what I did, and it is super pretty. And I did do the edging a little bit different. I think I was supposed to do a picot bind off, and I just wasn't feeling the picot, so I just did a regular bind off. But it's still super pretty. The rest of the pattern is beautiful, and it's just like a nice lightweight shawl. It's a little too small to wear on my shoulders the way that I like to normally wear shawls. I like bigger shawls for that, but I mean, this would look beautiful under your coat, or even just, you know, around the office or whatever, you know. It's beautiful. So again, Plain Dress Up is what it's called. Okay, one more. The last test that I'm going to show you is called Ember Days. Oh, and I was going to mention, sorry, I went out on a little thought bubble there. The color on this one was called, I told you it was Play It Life Fibers. It was the Jest sock base. It was the Jest base of yarn, and then the colorway was called Screaming Makes Me Mad. That's probably why I bought the color to begin with, was because of the name, Screaming Makes Me Mad. So really cute. This one is called Ember Days, and I love it. It is a simple triangular shawl with kind of a little ruffly bottom, and it really the ruffles, it kind of depend on how aggressively you block this bottom edge. It's got a little bit of a lace detail there. Super simple, very much TV knitting, and it's just so light and airy. This is a fingering weight, and the yarn that I have here is a tweed base from Knit Picks. It's their Stroll Tweed Tonal and Special Reserve. I don't know if they still have it on their website, but it's a fingering weight tweed by Knit Picks, and the colorway is called Petal. And it's very, very, very tonal, but I love that there's a little bit of pooling going on, but not enough to make it weird. And again, probably not one that I can wear over my shoulders. Maybe like in the warmer, like a warmer weather, if I'm wearing like a, what do you call it? Thinner straps and I'm indoors, air conditioner hitting me or something. But it's not one you can like really snuggle into because it's a little small, but again, it's okay. They're very versatile, these smaller shawls, and it looks super cute this way too. I always do that. I just don't know how to put them on gracefully. Okay, so super pretty. So again, this was Ember Days, and the designer was Renee Mueller. So that's what I did. That's a fraction of what I've done since March, and everything was, I like my mojo for knitting did not stop. It was just other things like podcasting and I just wasn't, I didn't have it all to be able to do it all, you know, and it's fine. I don't feel ashamed about that. I don't feel that there was anything wrong with it. You know, we're going to have our ups and downs days. And I was just going through some things, and we all do. And we just got to roll with the punches and keep going. So I kept knitting. I'm back to my podcasting. Yay! So let's see. I'm trying to think what to talk about next. I got a few other things that I want to talk about, but I really want to keep this a shorter video, just because recently I have decided that I am not really into podcasts that are more than an hour long, even though I really like the podcasters, but I just don't have the brain space to sit still for one thing for that long. So I haven't really been watching podcasts that I see that are for more than an hour. So I'm trying to, if I'm talking fast, that's probably why, because I'm just like trying to rush through. So I got a few more things to show. Let's see, I've got one more whip. Whip. Did I call those whips earlier? I did call them whips, huh? Finished objects. Wow. This one is, this is a shawl called Counterpoint. And I will put a picture up here of the original picture from the pattern page. It's was meant to be in 1 or 2 colors and probably like long color run, kind of changing, kind of like in my head I imagine it's not self-striping, but I imagine like Noro has these long color shifts, and or you could do it in 2 colors is how the pattern was written. Well, for Halloween I had I ordered Toad Hollow yarn for their Halloween countdown minis, and it was 13 20-gram minis, and I saw this shawl and I thought, I'm gonna try. So I did some math acrobatics to try to figure out if I can make it work, and it did. And so each of the 13 minis were 12. Each of the 13 minis are 20 grams of the Toad Hollow. They had some tweeds, they had some of their, I think it's 100% toad is what they call it, which is, it's all fingering weight. So this is it. And I don't know how to keep a surprise, much less a surprise from myself. So I opened these ahead of time and then arranged the colors how I wanted them. So yeah, I didn't open them each day and then knit. I planned it out. But let's see if I can remember all these. I don't think I'm going to remember all these names, honestly. I was posting daily the yarn that should have been opened for that day on my Instagram stories, but I don't know if I remember all these names. I'm going to try, but a lot of these I'm probably not going to remember. This one here, and it's on the very, very end, is a silvery gray. It's on a tweed base. And this is also the color that I use in between colors. Yeah, it's kind of hard to see there. It's just like in between the triangles. You could see it better there. In between the triangles, like here and here. And then all the way on the other end of the, it's long, it's way long, way long. You see there's that color there. That is called Ghost Flower. The theme of Toad Hollow's Halloween minis this year was the Old Witch's Garden. So these are all plants except for one. So Ghost Flower. This one was something. I don't remember this one. I think it was a long name. Hoya something. I don't know. I think this was Comfrey. This one was, I don't even know why I'm trying. I don't know. This one is really nice. It's just a almost natural base color with just light bits of pink. And I don't have the list of colors anymore. I'm sorry, I should have, but I do remember this one is Toad Flax. This one was Carnation, and it looks very similar to this one, except it's got some green thrown in there. I think this one was one of my favorites. This was Crow's Feet, I believe. This one was Tabitha's Tail. That's the one I was saying is one of the ones that's not a plant, because on Toad Hollow, on their podcast, Crafting with the Toads, they kind of have a setup like this with a table and, you know, have all their stuff, and every now and then their cats just kind of wander through, and one of them's name is Tabitha, and a lot of the times all you see is her tail. It's black. So a lot of us kept commenting, we need a colorway called Tabitha's Tail. Well, they did it. They did it for their Halloween advent, and it's amazing. So I was super happy to get this one in the, you know, as just a surprise. Super fun. This one was Magnolia. This one was Whorehound. What was this one? I don't remember this one. But this one was, I want to say something Firecracker, but I know that's not it. Anyways, I'm done trying. But I love it. Let me get further back. You can see that they're just wedges of color. Oh, it was so fun to knit. It's called Counterpoint, the pattern Counterpoint by Ilga Leja. It's Leja. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. I do apologize, but I am going to put it up here. But it is so pretty. This is fingering weight knit on a size 8, a US 8 hook, and it's huge. It is about, after blocking, it is about 80 something inches wide, wide wingspan, and then the depth of it is about 20. This is a wrap around your shoulders kind of shawl, let me tell you. Oh yeah, that is some kind of snuggly right there. Oh, look. Oh, it's so pretty. And the colors, oh, my battery's gonna die soon. And the colors are just so soft, and it definitely makes you think of a garden. I love it. It's beautiful. So I had so much fun with the Halloween minis. And along with that, all of the minis were stored in the bag that came with it. From Toad Hollow, they made this beautiful bag. Did I ever tell you green is my favorite color? So this was amazing. All of the little Halloween elements, pumpkins, spider webs, and then there's all of the garden-y kind of stuff. The raven. Super pretty. Drawstring. Loving it. I had so much fun with the Halloween countdown, and I did buy their Christmas Advent as well. I don't want to show the bag because I don't know if anybody that's watching is doing the Toad Hollow Advent. So I don't want to show the bag if you haven't gotten it yet, but countdown. I am super excited, super excited. Yes, they're open. I couldn't wait. I opened them. But I needed to know. I needed to know what I was going to do with them. I really wanted to plan what I was going to do with them. So I am going to knit one skein at a time. You know, on day by day, but it's probably not going to be in order. But I got the smaller version because I think they did a 12 mini skeins with 12 mini skeins and a bag. And that's what I got. Then they had the 24 mini skeins, one full skein, and the bag. So I got the smaller one. And then that was mostly, you know, financial choice at the time that I ordered. Because you order advents ahead of time. And then just recently, they were working on dyeing the minis, and they had some that they decided weren't going to work for that whole advent set. So they put some to the side and they put them up for sale and called them Land of the Misfit Toys. And there was 6 of them. Yeah, I did that. I happened to have a little extra money. Again, this was after I bought the original advent. But I bought the Land of the Misfit Toys minis from Toad Hollow. And this is going to be similar to how the Halloween one was done, where there's going to be some regular sock fingering and some tweed. So that's how the advent is going to work. But I decided, so since I went ahead and got the Misfit Toys, there's 6 there, and then I got the 12 in the advent. I'm going to go ahead and use all 18 together. I may have to find another mini just in case I don't have quite enough for the project that I'm doing, but I'm planning on making a poncho. I'm still trying to decide which pattern I want to use, but my advent is going to be a poncho. So that's what I'm planning on doing soon come December. So I'm trying to finish up some things. Again, for Halloween, I had also gone to, I want to say it's Sock Obsession again. If I'm wrong, I will put that here. I'll put it up somewhere. And I got a fingering yarn from them called Graveyard Smash. And it's so fun and so bright. It makes me think of fruit punch for some reason. I just every time I'm knitting with it, I just want a big glass of fruit punch. Oh, my color went weird just now. That was odd. So that's what that is. And I decided to start some socks. And don't ask me what I was thinking. So this is Stroll fingering from Knit Picks, and this is the Hot Tamales color that I've had forever. This was a mini from I don't remember when, I don't remember who, but it's a bright, bright green. And then I'm planning on putting Stroll, I think this is Duchess Heather, and I'm going to put that as the cuff. And I love how this colorway, the Graveyard Smash, is just working up in like spirals all the way around. And now this here is where I normally would have stopped and put the cuff in. But I decided to start putting in some increases for the calf and see how high I can get. Maybe I'll get some almost knee-high socks. They'll at least be high up on my calf. That's one. This one is actually ready for the cuff. But I was doing these increases here on the back. It looks so odd. They fit perfect, or this one fits perfect. I haven't really gotten this far on the other one. But I was doing lifted increases, not the make one left, make one right. I didn't do that. This was where you go to the stitch below and pick up a new stitch. And it ended up doing this line. So from this marker to this marker is where I did the increases. And I think I went from 64 stitches up to 100. And then this is where I got to 100, and then I'm just going straight from there until I decide to use, I want to finish it. This is on this sock, this is all I have left. So I'm going to finish this off and then put the cuff on. So I went from 64 to 100 stitches to fit my particular calf. I didn't follow a pattern. I just did toe up, fish lips kiss heel, and I'll probably do a 2x2 rib on the cuff. I've never made knee-high socks before without a pattern. I made a pair of knee-high socks years and years ago, but I don't remember the pattern. I don't even have those socks anymore because I accidentally felted them. But I thought, at first I was like, oh, that's just making a weird line. And it's only on part of the leg. But then I thought, these are Halloween socks. It could just be a scar. Who's got a scar? So it's pretty fun. I'm really enjoying these. I'm almost done. I'm trying to finish these up. I've got a campsite cardie that I've been working on. That started out as a knit along, an MCAL with Pearl Together. She started that on her podcast a few months ago, and I was keeping up, and then I got to the sleeves and I'm like, I don't feel like picking up sleeves. And I haven't. It was in the summer, and I didn't want to pick up sleeves all summer because it was crazy hot here in New Mexico. And then all of these test knits happened, and I never went back. And I also did a whole bunch of other things, mostly Christmas knits that I ended up giving early to my kids. I made some cowls and a beanie. I think I did 3 cowls and a beanie. And so I did that also in the middle of all of this. And those have already been given away because it's already getting cold, and I didn't want to wait till Christmas to give them. So I gave them so they can start wearing now. So I did all of that, and I never got back to the campsite cardie. Then I've been going so crazy over Toad Hollow yarns. Excuse me, I'm going to pick something up. I did a few other things that I might show in the next podcast with Toad Hollow yarns, but what I'm working on now is another sweater. It's a sweater by Drops, and it's called the Spring Jacket Connection. I believe that's what it's called, but it's a Drops pattern. It's a free pattern, and basically the premise of the construction is like kind of like a log cabin blanket. So you make a little center squarish shape, and then you add a little piece to the side, and then to that side, and then up and over, and you just keep kind of going around. And so that's what I'm working on. Where is it? Got the bag of all the yarns. Hold on. Is it in this bag? It is. I thought I was going to have to get up and go get something. So I'll show you where I'm at in a minute, but what I'm doing is all Toad Hollow yarns, and the pattern I believe only calls for 8, but I didn't have quite the number, the yardage per color that they were asking for. So I just went and looked through all my Toad Hollow fingering yarns and decided I was gonna just do it my own way. Heck with the rules. So I ended up with 11 colors instead of 8, and I sat, because there's a schematic that shows you where each of the little panels are placed, and I spent an entire day playing with these colors, just trying to line them up and seeing, oh, that one's going to touch that one, and that one's going to touch that one, because some of these, most of these you would not think why. I would never put those together, but they were all in the same type of yarn, the same base, the same weight, all of that. So I thought, well, they'll at least work texturally. So I just threw them all together. I got a lot of warm colors mixed with a lot of cool colors and some neutrals, and It's going to be wild. So, and I have, oh, this is another thing I'm super excited about. Ooh. I've been using these, I don't know if you've seen them. They're stitch holders, circular stitch holder by Clover. I love these things. I'm so glad that I got them. They're not very expensive, but I got two in this 24 to 36 inch, and then I've got two in the, I think it's 9 to 16. And that is what's keeping this bad boy together. Hold on, I got a mess. Oh, it's a mess. Anyway, so this is where I'm at. That's the back side. So you can see there's this log cabin construction. And a lot of these, like at first, like I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. And then you see this yellow. That's the last color that I put on. And I'm like, oh, I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work. But I know that these colors are going to be somewhere else. So it's not going to just be one random blob of yellow. It's going to be, again, somewhere else in the cardigan. It's a cardigan. Open front. Actually, is there a button band? I don't remember. I'll be wearing it as an open front cardigan. Sorry, I keep playing with my hair because it's driving me insane. And I'm nervous, and I play with my hair when I'm nervous. So yeah, the colors just kind of seem like they might not go together. Like, why would you put those together? But then I think it's going to work out. I think it's going to look good. So let's go through some of these colors real quick. I'm almost at 50 minutes here. So let's start with these warm colors. This is Autumn Fairies. Oh, and please never mind this. I was dyeing my daughter's hair purple and the glove broke. So I got purple on my nail. Anyway, so this is Autumn Fairies. Super pretty. And then we've got Acorn Fairy. We all know yellow is not my favoriteest of colors, but as an accent, I'm good with it. You know, if something all over yellow, I might not do it. This is Elderberry Fairy. Kind of washing out. There we go. Elderberry Fairy. What else? Privet Fairy. Oh my God, I love this color. I really hope I have a lot of this left over because I love it. The bottom of my soul. This is Privet Fairy. Love that one so much. I'm trying to get all the fairies. Is Beech Nut a fairy? I can't remember if it was a fairy or not, but this is Beech Nut. I think it's fairy. Super pretty. And then there's another brown. This was Wolf. Little bit lighter. And then this is Joy. Ursula the Sea Witch. Oh, it's so fun. Look at that. Just look at it. And then Red. Little Red Riding Hood and the Wolf. Beautiful. And then this is Ramdas. And let's see, it's darker than Elderberry Fairy. And then this one is Gingerbread House. So they're all kind of wild. That's a lot of interesting colors going on there. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's 11. That's crazy. A lot of colors, but I'm hoping that it's going to turn out just fun. And it's mostly it's all garter stitch. And I think it's going to be just a fun, cozy, you know, wild kind of cardigan. And when things are overcast and dark outside, I like to be bright. This is definitely going to be bright. So I'm very excited about that. So that's what I want to work on now for the end through November And December, I want to work on my Advent and the 2 cardigans and these socks. And then we'll see where things go in January. Usually I talk about books that I've been reading and maybe some shows or movies that I've been watching, but this is already getting very long, and I think I'm just going to go ahead and end it there. Again, thank you so much for coming back and watching my show. Thank you for putting up with my scatterbrain. I am very scatterbrained, and coming back after almost 6 months is a little bit intimidating. But I hope you enjoy your knitting. I hope you enjoy your crocheting or whatever crafting you're doing. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanksgiving is coming up for the United States, so happy Thanksgiving if I don't see you before then. And I will see you all next time. You know what I forgot to mention? You can find me as the Tangled Cat on Instagram, Twitter, and yeah, Instagram and Twitter is Tangled Cat. You're already on YouTube. I was gonna say on YouTube, but you're on YouTube. You're here. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and end it here, and I will hopefully see you all again next time. Thank you for coming by, and have a wonderful day. Bye.